Good morning, students. Good morning to everyone. This is Akash Kotawar, Faculty of Biology. Now, here we are going to start our 12th standard biology curriculum. Start with the first unit, that is reproduction. In this unit, we have four chapters. That is the first introduction chapter about the reproduction, that is called reproduction in organisms. Now, the second chapter is sexual reproduction in flowering plants. Third is human reproduction, and the fourth is reproductive health. In your board examination, this unit will carry 14 marks of your total weightage. And in this unit, we're going to start the first chapter, reproduction in organism. I know all of you are aware about what is reproduction, as you have already learned about the basic concepts of the reproduction in your 10th standard. As 10th standard, we have the chapter how do organism reproduce. Now here, what is exactly reproduction? Before that, what exactly the lifespan? We should know about the definition of lifespan so that we can know about the reproduction. Now here, the definition of lifespan is there. You can go through it. The period of birth to the natural death of an organism is called lifespan. Means if an individual get birth by the time till his death, the total period is calculated as lifespan. And reproduction is called, it is the biological process in which an organism produces their young ones, that is called offsprings of its own kind. The own kind refers they exactly similar to their parents with somewhat variations. Now, reproduction is very essential for the continuation of the line of succession and the maintenance of a species in the biosphere. Without reproduction, none of the species will continue on the earth. They have to produce their next generations continuously for the continuation of their species on the earth. So it is the most important function of an individual performed in their life cycle. But here in lifespan, the every organism should get death. But here, no, one more point is there, no individual is immortal except a unicellular organism, because it continues its life in progeny by fission. Now here, immortal means those individuals we don't have any death in their life, means they will not die. It takes place in case of only unicellular organisms. If we take an example of amoeba, amoeba is a simple unicellular organism, belongs to protozoa kingdom, belongs to protozoa family phylum, and the protista kingdom, in which the parent cell splits into two equal daughter cells. Now, in parent cell, the living substance protoplasm is there, which is now divided into two equal halves in their daughter cells. Means the parent cell still is alive in the form of two daughter cells. Hence, there is no death actually occurs in the unicellular organisms. Hence, they consider to be as a immortal. Right. So this is the reproduction. Now, how many types of reproductions are there? There are two types of reproductions are there: sexual reproduction and asexual reproduction. Right. Before that, we'll see different lifespans of the different organisms. Here, different organisms are there: mayfly, butterfly, crow, crocodile, man, parrot, tortoise, wheat plant, banyan tree. Different plants and animal species are there. Insects are there. Now here, their lifespans are very different from each other. The very least lifespan, if you see mayfly, it has only 1 day, and in animals, the butterfly 1 to 2 weeks, Crow 15 years, crocodile 60 years, man 100 years, approximately it is now it reduces to 80 years average. Parrot 140 years, tortoise 100 to 150 years, wheat plant 6 months, it's a whole period, that's why it's called annual plants. Banyan tree 200 years. So each and every organism has its own lifespan. Now here organism is nothing but a species. Now here man has 80 to 100 years approximate lifespan. It's species. So the different species have a different lifespans. Now we'll go to the different types of sexual reproductions. Now here there are two types of reproductions are there, asexual and sexual. If you see the difference between these two, a clear difference is there. Asexual reproduction, only single parent is involved. In sexual, the two parents are involved, that is male and female. No formation or fusion of gametes takes place in the asexual reproduction. Now here, no formation or fusion of gametes takes place in the asexual reproduction. But in case of sexual reproduction, here the formation as well as gamete fusion also takes place. It means in sexual reproduction, male will produce their male gametes, that's commonly called as sperms, and the female will produce their eggs. Once they fuse with each other, it is called fertilization. So here in asexual, if there is no gamete formation takes place and fusion is nothing takes place, it means the fertilization is also absent. So in sexual, fusion of gametes formation and fertilization is always takes place. In asexual, only mitotic division is takes place. It's a kind of cell division. All of you know, right? What is mitotic division? In mitotic division, the daughter cells are similar to their parent cell in order according to their number of chromosomes. But in case of sexual reproduction, here meiosis takes place during gametogenesis. That is, in mitotic, only a diploid parent cell produce a diploid a same type of their progenies, but in case of sexual reproduction, the parent has to produce their haploid gametes. To produce haploid gametes, they depends on meiosis. So meiosis takes place in their gonads, that is testis and ovary, so that they can produce their respective sperms and ovums. So here asexual only mitotic, in sexual meiosis. In asexual, the individuals are genetically identical, that is called as clone. Now here the clone word is there. Clone means morphologically, genetically the offsprings are clearly identical is to their parents. But in case of sexual reproduction, the fertilization takes place between two different gametes coming from parent, that is mother and father, a male and female parent. So the offsprings are produced by different variations. So variations are most important for the production of different individuals in sexual reproduction, which helps also in the evolutionary process. Now here in asexual reproduction, it is very quick method of multiplication of individuals. In sexual, it is very slow process and it is more complex process as compared to the asexual process. So these are the some differences between asexual and sexual reproductions. Now here we'll go with the different types of asexual reproductions. Now here you show there are six types of asexual reproductions are there: fission, budding, fragmentation, spore formation, vegetative propagation, and regeneration. Now here we'll start one by one. First, fission. Now what is fission actually? It is a division of parent body into two or more daughter cells identical to their parents. As we already discussed In asexual reproduction, only mitotic division takes place, only one parent is involved, so the offspring should be identical to their parents. Now here fission is again two types, the binary fission and multiple fission. Now what is binary fission? Binary means two. Simply the single cell, that is single parent cell or organism, which splits into two daughter cells. Now it takes place mainly in Monera and Protista kingdoms, as they are all unicellular organisms. That means the fission is a characteristic feature of unicellular organisms. Now here the single cell organism of kingdom Monera and Protista reproduce by a simple cell division called binary fission. The cell division, now here the cell divides into two halves. Each half develops into a new adult. If you go through the example, amoeba, paramecium, euglena, bacteria, these are all different organisms which follow the binary, which perform binary fission. Now here the figure is given of binary fission in amoeba, where in first the one parent cell is there, in second position the nuclear division takes place, in third the cytoplasm is divided, and finally the two daughter cells are produced. It is a simple binary fission occurs in amoeba. Multiple fission, here the same parent cell divides more than two daughter cells, that is maximum number of daughter individuals are produced by splitting of one parent cell. It is a rapid process, it produces large number of progenies within a short period of time. For example, amoeba and paramecium, here amoeba, paramecium, entamoeba also is there. Now the two diagrams are there, the parent cell which covered into cyst, different amoebulae are there, daughter cells which rupture the cyst, broken the cyst, and release the number of daughter amoebulae are there. Now the same process takes place in entamoeba, which is a endoparasite of human large intestine. Now budding, the second type of asexual reproduction. Now what is budding? The formation of a daughter individuals from the small projection, that is bud. Now this is the most important word, bud. Hence it is called budding, arising on the parent body. There are so many examples like hydra and yeast. In hydra, the bud is developed on the lateral side, as shown in the figure given below. Here it is. This is the initiation of development of lateral bud, which slowly, gradually develops, and it develops in the form of a parent body, and then finally detach from the parent body develop as a new individual. In yeast cell, the cell division is unequal and small buds are produced. Initially, these are attached to the parent cell, later separates and develops into a new individual. Now here one thing is different. Hydra is a multicellular organism and yeast is a unicellular organism. So in unicellular organism, the single cell is there, but the division is unequal, unlike the binary fission. In binary fission, the parent cell divides equally. But in case of budding in unicellular organism like in yeast, the division is unequal. So small bodies develop on the top of the parent cell, which later grow in a size and detach from the parent cell and develops into a new individual. So this is the difference between hydra and yeast with respect to budding. But one more word is there, that is gemmules. Now here gemmules is the kind of birds which are develops inside the body of sponges. These are the internal birds of freshwater sponges. They resist drought, high temperature, freezing, lack of oxygen, etc. So in unfavorable condition, or to adopt unfavorable condition, the sponges produce internal birds called gemmules, which later comes out from the body, develops into a new individual. Here it's a figure of gemmule is there. So budding and fission. The fission is takes place only in unicellular organism, and budding is takes place both in unicellular and multicellular organism. Now the third type is called fragmentation. Now, what is fragmentation? A simple, a mature parent body divides into more than two fragments or pieces, and each fragment develops into a new organism. It is a characteristic of multicellular organisms. Example Spirogyra, some echinoderms, and sponges. Here the figure is given. It's a filament of Spirogyra. The Spirogyra is a filamentous multicellular algae which consists a number of cell-like structures. This fragment splits into number of pieces or fragments which later develops into a mature adult filament. It is called fragmentation. Now the next one is the spore formation. Now spore formation, it is a process of production of minute small spores which are germinate on the parent body which later develops into new individuals. These spores are many types like zoospores, conidia, sporangiospores. Example here, conidias are there. These are the asexual spores of fungus generated by penicillium. Penicillium is a multicellular fungus on which uh, asexual spores are produced called conidias, which spread and develops, which spread by air in different parts of the surroundings, and then once they come into contact with the moisture, they will develop as a new fungal generation. These are called conidia. It's a microscopic original figure is given here. This is one, and here the side one, Rhizopus sporangiospores. Now here this is the mycelium, the fungal body of Rhizopus, which consists horizontal filaments called hyphae, and the long filaments is called sporangiophores. On the sporangium, top of the sporangium is there. Inside the sporangium, there is a tissue is there called columella, and these inside the sporangium, number of spores are produced, and then it dehisces, and all spores are released into the air. These are very light in weight, so with the help of air, they can spread into the surroundings, and once they come into contact with the moisture or favorable conditions, they will grow as a new individual. This is called spore formation. The next is a regeneration. Now here it is most different from other asexual modes of reproduction. Now formation of the whole body of an organism from a small fragment or the replacement of the lost part. There are two types of regeneration. One is morpholepsis. Here is there. This one morpholepsis, and second is a epimorpholepsis. Now the morpholepsis means here three examples are given: planaria, hydra, and starfish. In these, the parent body, if splits into different fragments or pieces, each piece further develops into a new individual. It is same as a fragmentation, but fragmentation takes place in simple multicellular filamentous algae. But here regeneration takes place in the animals, more complex multicellular organisms. Here the hydra, starfish, and planaria, in all three, the same kind of process takes place. It is called morpholepsis. Here in planaria, hydra, and starfish, here is written morpholepsis takes place. But in case of salamanders, here these are kind of amphibians in which the high regeneration power is there. That means if during any case, if they lost any limb, any body part like limbs, their limbs are regenerate completely within few days. Here only lost part of the body can be regenerate, not the whole organism. So that's why it is called epimorpholepsis, and here it is called morpholepsis. So there are two types of regenerations are there. Now here there are six types of asexual reproductions are there: fission, budding, fragmentation, spore formation, vegetative propagation, and regeneration. We have discussed about the fission, budding, fragmentation, spore formation, and regeneration. Right? Fission is takes place in multi and unicellular or unicellular organisms. It is different types: binary and multiple fission. Budding, it's development of small bud in the parent body. Fragmentation, the parent body splits into a small pieces and each piece will develop into a new organism. Spore formation, a parent cell produce different spores. They are zoospores are there, conidias are there, sporangiospores are there, different spores are there. In regeneration, there are two types of regeneration are there: morpholoxis, epimorpholoxis. In morpholoxis, only in morpholoxis, which takes place in hydra, planaria, and starfish-like organisms, in which the whole body develops from a piece of the parent body. But in case of epimorpholoxis, only the last part of the body will regenerates in a pre-existing animal. Okay, students. So this is the part one of first chapter, reproduction organism. In next class, we'll discuss about the vegetative propagation and we'll continue the sexual reproduction. Thank you. Thank you very much.